This is an excellent question, asking if I can address some of the common misconceptions Americans have about Zambia and about Africa in general. So first, I'd like to say, if you're really interested in getting to the root of this question, I'd highly recommend that you look at some sort of study done on American perspectives, because they're going to give you a much more academic and fleshed out answer. This is just purely my perspective. So I'm going to kind of ignore the Africa part, and the reason being is it's a massive continent, and I can't even begin to get into all the stereotypes, misconceptions, and myths Americans have about the African continent and the West in general, right? So the first thing I would say is, when it comes to Zambia, there's two groups that most Americans fall into. And the first is a total lack of knowledge. And those Americans are usually pretty honest. And from my interactions, they've actually been pretty positive. And the reason being is that it's okay not to know everything about every country in the world. There are many countries in the world that I know very little to nothing about. And if you're honest with yourself and you're honest with the person you're having a discussion with, there's actually a lot of room for growth. And you can both hopefully come out of the conversation learning something. And that group's actually awesome to have conversations with and talks with, because they're usually very productive. The second group is the group that I roll my eyes at and I get very frustrated with, and that's the group that knows that Zambia is in sub-Saharan Africa and that's it. Then what they do is they like to paint this region with these broad strokes. And those broad strokes, I think, come in like 4 generalizations. And those generalizations are poverty, food insecurity or scarcity, water insecurity or scarcity, and AIDS. And they use those 4 pillars as their kind of way to judge Zambia as a country and kind of this whole region as one place. And I think that's really dangerous, because as all Zambians know, as everyone living in Southern Africa would know, or even maybe the broader sub-Saharan Africa would know, that the countries are very diverse in their politics, their culture, their religions, basically their colonial past. There's a lot going on in this region of the world. So when we generalize, it's very dangerous, because we tend to start to think we know something when we know very little. And I think that group is very, very hard to have a conversation with, because they're usually not that open to learning and to having a productive conversation. With that being said, I think the best thing to do is just try to kind of get on here and share what you know, or share kind of what Zambia is like with the rest of the world. And I think that's the positive part of social media. And that's what I love about being on this app, is I get to take people on this journey with me, and I'm learning things about Zambia. I don't know a lot of things about Zambia, and all of you are helping teach me, and I'm learning from other creators. And that's really awesome, because hopefully some American that doesn't know anything about Zambia can learn with me, and hopefully someone that thinks they know something can really learn the truth about Zambia. And I hope that kind of gets to the root of your question. As always, I really appreciate these insightful questions and comments, so keep them coming, guys. One thing I forgot to say is that I'm going to pin a comment in the comment section with some of my favorite Zambian creators and some people that are doing some kind of academic stuff on TikTok that I think is really fantastic. Feel free to check that out, because I think those are great resources and just awesome things that help me learn about this region of the world and about the world in general.